Everyone pushed open the door and entered the laboratory. The scene before them made them grit their teeth, because what caught their eyes were cold corpses, and these corpses were basically children. Steve took a quick look and estimated that there were almost 1,000 bodies here. What a terrifying number. The hand can't be left alive, Steve said coldly. He hadn't been so angry for a long time. Even during World War II, he had never been so angry. Not only him, but everyone else was the same. Where are the people from the hand? They won't run away, will they? Daniel whispered. Impossible. The entire Hell's Kitchen is surrounded by our heavily armed forces. They have no way to escape. Coulson said with a dark face. Phil, aren't these the only people you brought? When we first encountered those kids, I transmitted the footage here to Director Fury in real time. He immediately notified the Security Council, and they gave us full authority over this incident. The hand must be eliminated. So we deployed a large number of troops to surround the entire Hell's Kitchen, leaving them with no way to escape. No, it seems they still have another way. Erica interrupted Coulson. What? I vaguely remember that a long time ago, there was a tunnel beneath the hand's base that led to the suburbs. But because I was too young at the time, my memory is not very complete, and I no longer remember where it was. It seems you need my help. Tony descended from the sky accompanied by passionate music, but when Tony saw thousands of corpses in front of him, his tone changed. What on earth is going on here? Tony asked, suppressing his anger. Mr. Stark, we'll talk to you in detail after this is over. The most important thing now is to find the hand's tunnels. Otherwise, if they escape, we won't be able to avenge these children. Tony nodded and said to Jarvis, Jarvis, scan the entire building to see if there is really a tunnel. As several small metal balls flew out of Tony's armor, they scanned the entire hand base at an extremely fast speed. Sir, there is indeed a tunnel. To be more precise, it is a privately built subway, and the entrance has been marked. Jarvis placed the scan results in Tony's field of vision and said, Come with me. Led by Tony, they opened a secret door and entered a huge elevator. As Tony pressed the button, Jarvis immediately sounded the alarm, Emergency! Emergency! There are a large number of bombs buried below. Once the elevator touches the switch, the bombs will explode, and the power is enough to drag down the entire Hell's Kitchen with it. After hearing what Jarvis said, Tony immediately wanted to stop the elevator, but this was a trap set by the hand, so how could they leave them any fallback? He watched the elevator still falling rapidly. Jarvis, can you find a way to stop it? I'm sorry, sir. This elevator is completely mechanical, so I can't help you. However, I can scan the elevator's vulnerable points. If I destroy them, I can prevent the bomb from exploding. However, everyone in the elevator, except you, has no chance of survival. Hearing Jarvis' voice, everyone's faces turned pale. They never thought that they would die so miserably before they even had a real fight with the hand. Tony Stark, I know your father. He is a great scientist. Let's do it. Steve said to Tony. No, there must be a way. If you don't take action now, the entire Hell's Kitchen will be buried with you. Go ahead, Steve advised, but Tony ignored him, his brain working frantically, trying to find a solution. At this moment, Lee Chinue, who was in the Marvel office, suddenly sensed something and wanted to go over to check, but due to the contract, he couldn't go. At this moment, a child ran into the office and shouted loudly, Sir, I want to issue a commission. Child, what commission are you going to issue? Save Hell's Kitchen, said the child, and then he quickly completed the process. Lee Chinue then realized that the child was sent by S.H.I.E.L.D. and was the child of an aging couple. After learning about the danger Coulson was in, they immediately found Lee Chinue in Hell's Kitchen as quickly as possible. Lee Chinue immediately came to the Shahewi base and watched the elevator descending at a very fast speed. Even though everyone in the elevator tried their best, they could not stop the elevator from descending. Unless the entire elevator was blown to pieces, the people inside would not be able to survive. Tom, Jerry, it's time for you to atone for your sins. After saying that, Lee Chinue threw Tom and Jerry down. Everyone in the elevator heard shouting from above, and subconsciously looked up and found a cat and a mouse in free fall. When they were about to touch the elevator, the cat and the mouse's aura changed, and their clothes also changed dramatically. The cat clapped its hands, and a huge cat made of purple energy appeared. It held up the entire elevator, and then exerted force suddenly, throwing the elevator into the air. The mouse also clapped its hands, and countless trees that were hundreds of meters high and 1 meter in diameter appeared at the Hand Heart Society base. There were vines as big as wrists crossing between each tree. These vines formed an extremely huge and tough net. The elevator fell from the sky and hit the vine net. The powerful impact almost made even the vines unable to hold on. It was only because Thousand Hands Jerry continued to inject chakra that the vines maintained their toughness. With the joint efforts of the two, they successfully rescued everyone in the elevator. Not only that, Li Qingyue also went down to the bottom and put all the bombs into the storage compartment. Fortunately, the storage compartment can stack the same items infinitely, otherwise he really would not be able to take these bombs away. Are you okay? Li Qingyue asked as he opened the elevator door. It's okay, are they Tom and Jerry? Steve asked, looking at Tom and Jerry standing behind Li Qingyue and on his shoulders. Yes, that's them. Didn't you say you can't interfere in our affairs? Daniel questioned Li Qingyue. Of course I can't interfere in the affairs between you, the Holy Order, and the Hand, but the problem is that this matter involves the entire Hell's Kitchen, so of course I can take action. Fortunately, there are still smart people in your shield, otherwise, the entire Hell's Kitchen would be buried with you. We want to know the whereabouts of Mrs. Gao and the others, okay? Coulson asked. Sorry, no, but I think you can go to Dad's bar and ask. They have more information there than I do. Thank you very much. You're welcome. By the way, remember to transfer the money as soon as possible. Li Qingyue said to Coulson with a smile, then left with Tom and Jerry. This operation has failed. Next we need to find the Hand as soon as possible. Coulson sighed. This operation was the worst one for S.H.I.E.L.D. in recent years. Daredevil and I are going to Dad's bar to see if we can really find any information about the Hand, Erica said. The others nodded and left, leaving the matter to the people from S.H.I.E.L.D. After all, they were professionals. Daddy's bar. This is where intelligence is sold in Hell's Kitchen. No one knows who the boss behind the scenes is, and even S.H.I.E.L.D. only has a few lines of intelligence about them. Erica and Daredevil walked in side by side, found a place to sit down, and soon a waiter sat opposite them. Is this your first time here, both of you? Daredevil was about to speak when Erica stopped him, but Erica nodded to the adapter anyway. Excuse me, are you here to drink or to buy information? Erica took out a stack of US dollars, and the waiter immediately took out a pen and paper, and then Erica wrote on it, Mrs. Gao's whereabouts. Oh, you two are looking for the whereabouts of Madame Gao, the leader of the Hand, right? Erica nodded, and the waiter took out a computer and started typing away. After a while, he finally said, no problem, but this information will cost $1 million. Is that okay? Erica took out a bank card, and the waiter stood up and took it with a smile. Okay, please wait a moment. After waiting for about an hour, the adapter came back with a file bag in his hand. He placed it on the table and said, hello ma'am. This is the information you requested. Happy trading. Erica nodded slightly, took the briefcase and left with Daredevil. After walking out of Dad's bar, he let out a heavy breath and asked in confusion, why don't you let me speak? Did you notice just now? Besides the waiter, no one else in the bar was talking. And that waiter had a miniature recorder on him. He would record the voices of everyone who spoke and put them in their intelligence database. By comparing our voices to our usual voices, they could find out our true identities. That way, they would have another piece of information to sell. So, try not to talk here if you can. Is it so scary? That's nothing. The most outrageous thing is that their bartenders are the world's top psychological profilers. Just by looking at you, they can analyze your personality, your experience, and so on. This is the most terrifying thing about them. If it weren't absolutely necessary, I would never come here to buy intelligence. Erica said fearfully. It can be seen that Erica has been here to purchase intelligence. Let's go back and discuss it with them. We must make a plan this time before we go looking for the Hand. Otherwise, we won't even know how we died. Don't forget that they are good at assassination. The two of them returned to the New York branch of S.H.I.E.L.D., where she opened the file bag and discovered that it was the location of a small island, as well as some information about the Hand's forces. When they saw that the Hand actually controlled a nuclear bomb, everyone felt that this was really tricky. Zhao, where did they get the nuclear bomb? Shi shouted angrily, pounding the table. Stone, calm down. Everyone's faces suddenly turned ugly. Now they not only had to find a way to disarm the nuclear bomb without alerting the AU, but also had to catch them all in one fell swoop. It was too difficult to do so. Why don't we dismantle the nuclear bomb first, and then deal with as many Hand members as we can? What do you think? Daredevil said tentatively. After hearing this, the others had no choice but to agree. After all, nuclear bombs were too dangerous, not to mention that they were controlled by the Hand, a gang that would do anything to achieve their goals. For this reason, they had no choice but to change their plan and put dismantling the nuclear bomb first and dealing with the Hand second. With Tony's help, everyone figured out the troop deployment on the island, and then began to make a plan. After finalizing the plan, in order to prevent the Hand from having any time to react, they immediately decided to launch a surprise attack tonight. After everything was ready, they came to the sky above the island in a Quinjet fighter. They looked down and the strong wind kept blowing their hair. They looked at each other and immediately started airborne. After reaching the designated distance, they opened the parachute. When they were about 10 meters away from the sea surface, they detached from the parachute and fell directly into the sea. "Is everyone here?" Steve asked, wiping the sea water off his face. "All ready. Next we need to find the nuclear bomb, dismantle it, and then deal with the Hand. Do you understand?" Steve said in a low voice. Everyone nodded, and then Steve waved his hand, and everyone divided into several teams, attacking from all directions. Once discovered, they would attack directly and openly, which would just attract firepower and reduce some pressure on others to destroy the nuclear bomb. So everyone started to hide, but except Erica, the other teams were discovered by the Black Sky Ninja of the Hand, and they started fighting in an instant. After Mrs. Gao learned about it, she immediately sent a large number of Black Sky Ninjas to protect the machine that opened Kunlun. As for the nuclear bomb, Mrs. Gao did not arrange too many people to protect it. After all, they never thought that they came for the nuclear bomb. So after a large number of Black Sky Ninjas were transferred away, Erica and the others found the location where the nuclear bomb was stored. After a hard battle with the Black Sky Ninjas guarding the gate, they finally defeated them. Then they went inside, and with Tony's remote help, they finally used some materials to remove the detonator of the nuclear bomb, and at the same time arranged for the SHIELD people to take the nuclear bomb away. After taking the nuclear bomb away, Erica and the others immediately joined the battle. Not only that, even Tony came. Mrs. Gao found something wrong and immediately ordered all the Black Sky Ninjas to go out and stop them. They planned to leave on a yacht. But what Mrs. Gao didn't expect was that what they could think of, they could also think of, so all of Mrs. Gao's ships, planes, etc. were blown up, which means that now they have no way to escape from the island unless they swim. Mrs. Gao and the other Four Fingers were furious at the thought that their plan had been ruined. They exchanged glances, and Mrs. Gao said with a dark face, "Everyone, we may not be able to escape this time. Why don't we just go crazy?" There was a mad look in Mrs. Gao's eyes, and the same was true for the other four people. Everyone who was fighting suddenly felt a chill on their backs, as if they were being targeted by some powerful being. "I don't feel good, someone is approaching quickly." Daredevil shouted in horror because they were moving too fast. As soon as Daredevil finished speaking, the heads of 5 SHIELD agents were chopped off. Not only that, even Steve was knocked away. Only then did everyone realize that the people who came were the 5 Fingers who founded the Hand. Everyone looked at Madame Gao and the other 4, feeling the aura emanating from them. They even paused for a moment, but they soon reacted. The Stick Man faced Mrs. Gao, Steve faced Murakami, Daniel faced Alexandra, Patton and Arrow faced the Gambler, Claw and Erica faced Soenda. Several people found their own opponents, but they underestimated the 5 of them. With the help of Dragon Bones, although they looked old, their bodies were actually still in peak condition, plus they learned various martial arts in Kunlun. In terms of martial arts attainments, they are not inferior to any generation of Iron Fist, and are even stronger than them. If not for the protection of the power of Iron Fist for every generation of Iron Fist, it is estimated that the 5 of them can single-handedly defeat every generation of Iron Fist. So when they really faced off against Mrs. Gao and her 5 companions, they realized how uncomfortable it was. Their various martial arts were overwhelming. Even Steve was suppressed by Murakami, and even the strength he was proud of became almost non-existent under their skills. "There's absolutely no way to fight this," Patton said helplessly as he shot an arrow to force the Gambler back. "Captain, we can't hold on any longer. Should we retreat?" Coulson shouted as he fired a shot to force back the Black Sky Ninja. Steve looked back and found that the SHIELD agents and members of the Holy Order were all suppressed by the Black Sky Ninjas. They had even started to suffer casualties, and it seemed that they had no chance of winning at all. "Retreat. You can't leave," Murakami said as he cut a SHIELD agent in half with a samurai sword. Steve looked at the tragic death of the agent in front of him and immediately rushed up in anger, fighting with Murakami again, but the gap in skills could not be made up in a short time. Soon, Steve had many wounds on his body, and his suit was stained with blood, but Steve still did not fall down, and uttered the famous words, "I can do this all day." Murakami sneered, stretched his neck and said, "In that case, you can lie down forever." At this moment, a Quinjet suddenly appeared in the empty sky, and then everyone saw a green figure falling from the sky. The powerful impact force directly created a huge hole on the island. "Hulk!" Steve shouted in surprise. Mrs. Gao and the others seemed to sense that someone was coming with ill intentions, and immediately huddled together for warmth. However, they underestimated Hulk's power. Just as Hulk crawled out of the pit, Natasha's voice came from the Quinjet. "Get out of here quickly, Hulk doesn't distinguish between friend and foe when he fights." After hearing Natasha's words, everyone began to retreat, but how could Mrs. Gao let them leave so easily? She then ordered the surrounding Black Sky ninjas to hold them back at the cost of their own lives. Steve and the others immediately said to Coulson, "Lead them away, we will stay behind to cover their retreat." Coulson wanted to say something, but after thinking about it, he decided not to say it and left with the wounded. Steve and the others stopped the Black Sky ninjas, and at the same time they kept moving away from Hulk, fearing that Hulk would go crazy and hurt his own people. Mrs. Gao and the others saw this and wanted to keep them, but Hulk climbed out of the pit, looked at Mrs. Gao and the others with red eyes, and a puff of white air came out of his nose. Looking at Hulk, Mrs. Gao and the others immediately got into position. The battle between them was like a contest between absolute skill and absolute strength. Hulk roared and rushed directly towards the 5 people. The 5 people also understood that in order to deal with such a powerful guy, they must use a soft-hard fighting style, so they used Tai Chi. For a moment, all the power of Hulk's punch was removed by their Tai Chi techniques. It was like punching cotton. This soft feeling made Hulk very uncomfortable. The more he fought, the more irritated and angry he became. His strength continued to increase with the help of his anger. In the end, their skills failed. One punch directly dented Murakami's samurai sword, but the fist still hit his chest with undiminished power. Murakami clearly heard the sound of bones breaking, and at the same time felt the bones piercing his heart. Feeling his life slipping away, Murakami slowly fell to the ground with a helpless smile. The first person was injured or killed, and the 4 of them couldn't help but think of escaping. However, this was an island, they had no boats or planes, and the nearest land was no more than 100 nautical miles away. This was undoubtedly suicide, so they seemed to have no way to survive. Seeing this, the 4 of them could only give it a try. The 4 of them joined forces and rushed towards Hulk, attacking him in the eyes, neck, crotch, temples and other fatal places with lightning speed, but unfortunately Hulk's defense can be said to be unique in the Marvel Universe, so their attacks naturally failed. However, their attack angered Hulk, who broke Mrs. Gao's spine with a casual blow. Seeing this, the other 3 people could not bear the threat of death and ran in 3 directions. Seeing that they were about to escape, Hulk pulled up a tree nearby, turned a tree into a javelin with his hand, and threw it towards one of them. The javelin went straight through the man and nailed him to the ground. Finally, the 2 men saw it and sped up, but no matter how fast they were, they could not be faster than Hulk. Hulk just made a big jump and came into the air above Soanda. He crushed Soanda to death with his legs as easily as crushing an egg. Then it was Alexandra who was killed by Hulk with a punch on the head. At this point, all 5 fingers of the hand were killed by Hulk. Seeing this, Natasha in the Quinjet immediately controlled the weapons to cover Steve and the others' retreat, leaving these Black Sky ninjas to Hulk to deal with. After Hulk was dealt with, Natasha said to the other person in the Quinjet, "Boss Lee, I'm counting on you." "Leave it to me," Li Qingyue said with a smile. He had long wanted to fight with Hulk. As Li Qingyue landed, Hulk seemed to have found some interesting toy and started fighting with Li Qingyue. Li Qingyue did not use any weapons and only relied on his fists and feet to fight Hulk. The 2 were evenly matched for a while, but in the end Li Qingyue beat Hulk back to human form. Looking at Bruce Banner, who was only wearing a pair of shorts, Li Qingyue smiled, called Natasha, threw her into the Quinjet, and then returned to the office. Not long after they left, a cleanup team sent by S.H.I.E.L.D. arrived and looted all the bodies, as well as the gold, silver, jewelry, machines, etc. left by the Hand. At this point, the Hand was completely destroyed. Marvel Studios. Li Qingyue came down from upstairs yawning. Hearing the gunshots outside, he couldn't help but tisk tisk twice. Hasn't the fight finished yet? Alas, there's nothing I can do. It's because the Hand was taken down all of a sudden. Now more than a dozen gangs are fighting each other every day to seize territory. Even I was almost hit by a few stray bullets. If Connor hadn't helped me block the bullets, the grass on my grave would probably be 3 feet high by now. Walter shook the bun in his hand viciously and said helplessly, "By the way, Connor, I see that there seems to be a girl coming to see you recently. Are you in a relationship?" Li Qingyue teased. "Boss, I don't plan on falling in love until I'm fully evolved. When you finish your evolution, this girl will probably run away with someone else, so you must seize it. By the way, this is the employee ID card. Although you exchanged it from Walter, you are no longer a robot now. It is up to you whether you join or not." Li Qingyue left the employee ID card on the table. Connor looked at his ID card and then at Walter. "If you want to join, join. If you don't want to join, don't join. It's okay. It's up to you." With Walter's support, Connor decided to join, and the firm added another employee. "By the way, Walter, since Connor has joined, you should take him to get a few custom-made suits as usual. Then, you should each buy a car so that it will be more convenient for you to travel." "Okay, boss. Thank you, boss. You are so generous. By the way, how is your blood orchid?" Li Qingyue suddenly thought of it and asked. "It has been successfully cultivated, but I discovered that this blood orchid emits a hormone during its growth. This hormone is intangible to us humans, but other animals can clearly sense it, and this hormone has a fatal attraction to them. This is the explanation you gave me." Constantine's voice sounded angrily, and Walter was so scared that he quickly hid behind Connor. "What's going on?" Li Qingyue asked in confusion. "The apartment is uninhabitable now. It's full of stray cats, rats, snakes, bugs, etc. I even suspect all the rats in Hell's Kitchen have gathered here." Constantine said unhappily. "It's just rats, snakes, and bugs. No big deal." "Boss, you'll know if you go and take a look. Is it really that outrageous?" Li Qingyue opened the door of the apartment. The first floor was fine, clean, and tidy, but when he came to the second floor, he suddenly saw a group of rats attacking a glass cover, and inside the glass cover was the blood orchid. There were a large number of rats stacked up layer by layer. The stench and the dense appearance of them not only made Li Qingyue's claustrophobia come out, but also made him retch uncontrollably. He quickly left the second floor. Constantine saw Li Qingyue running back and said, "Boss, now you know how angry I am. As soon as I opened the door, a bunch of rats came pouring in like a tide. If you saw this scene, even if you weren't afraid, you would still be terrified." "You're right. Walter gives you 1 day to clean the entire apartment for me and disinfect it. If you find a cockroach, you will be fined 100 points. These 100 points will be divided among Richard and the other 3. No, why is there a copy for Richard in here? He doesn't live here. Don't worry about whether he lives here or not. If you don't take care of it within a day, you'll have to wait for them to divide up all your points." Walter walked away with his head down. Connor saw him, stuffed 2 buns into his mouth, and followed him. "I'll go see if there's anything I can help with," Constantine said, looking at the 2 men's backs. Li Qingyue shook his head helplessly, and suddenly the scene of the rat tide came to his mind, which scared him so much that he shuddered. This scene was too horrifying, just like a game he had played before, called A Plague Tale: Innocence, which had scenes of a rat tide. However, it was just a game, but what Li Qingyue had just experienced was a real rat tide, which was what made it so horrifying. After an unknown amount of time, Li Qingyue suddenly saw white gas spreading out of the apartment building. "Oh my God, what's going on?" Li Qingyue shouted and rushed directly into the apartment building. He saw Constantine and others wearing gas masks and constantly spraying white smoke. "What are you doing?" "Boss, why are you here? Didn't you ask us to kill these rats?" "So I developed these gases specifically to kill rats, snakes, cockroaches, and all kinds of insects. Look, they are almost dead," Walter explained. Only then did Li Qingyue see the dead rats all over the ground after his reminder. "This is disgusting. Please get these bodies away from me right now." "Don't worry, boss. I've already prepared some corpse powder. It will turn these rat corpses into a puddle of water in a few seconds." "What about the water? How are you going to solve the problem, great inventor?" "Just pour it directly down the drain. This corpse water doesn't have any smell, it's almost the same as ordinary water." "Whatever, just get it done quickly. I doubt anyone has already called the fire department." "Don't worry, boss. They're basically all dead, with only a bunch of stray cats left. But Connor said he wanted to adopt them, so I didn't develop poison gas to kill cats. Now we just need to collect the bodies and sprinkle corpse powder on them. Then hurry up and collect them. Hey boss, why don't you help us out? We are really overwhelmed." Li Qingyue had no choice but to help. It took a whole hour to collect all the corpses of rats, cockroaches, snakes and various insects on top of the manhole cover, and then water-sprinkled corpse powder. This pile of corpses was like a foam box encountering fire. It was constantly dissolving into clear water and flowing from the sewer to the sea. Finally cleaned it up. Next is disinfection, which is also very simple. Constantine, go get some groceries from old Jack and throw these away. And Connor, since you're going to adopt these stray cats, clean them for me and teach them to go to the toilet in the litter box. If I find them urinating or defecating anywhere, I'll throw them all away. Don't worry, boss. I will take good care of them. Okay, I want to see you all cleaned up before dinner, got it? Several people nodded repeatedly, and Constantine and Connor went to find old Jack. One went to buy a litter box, cat litter, cat food, etc., and the other went to buy a new batch of daily necessities. Because these were all available in old Jack's warehouse, they were quickly loaded and set off. At this time, Walter had already disinfected the entire apartment building. As for the stray cats, they were locked in iron cages. Even in the iron cages, they were still staring at the blood orchid in the glass cover. As night fell, Li Qingyue closed the door of the office and took Tom and Jerry to the apartment building next door. As soon as they opened the door, a fragrant aroma came to their noses. Tom and Jerry closed their eyes and followed the scent. They floated in the air and drifted towards the source of the scent. Connor, who was cooking in the kitchen, suddenly saw the two children floating in. He couldn't help but grab them, put them on his shoulders and said, "There's still one dish left, don't worry." The two kids had already woken up when they were caught by Connor and sat on Connor's shoulders with embarrassed looks on their faces. 5 minutes later, the last dish was finally ready. Connor quickly brought all the food to the table and shouted, "Boss, Walter, John, come and eat." Hearing Connor's shout, the three of them immediately sat down. Looking at the table full of delicious food, they couldn't help swallowing their saliva. Just as they picked up their bowls to start eating, Li Qingyue saw Connor walking aside. "Connor, it's time for dinner, what are you going to do?" "I'm going to feed the kittens cat food. You guys eat first. I'll be back soon." "Okay, let's eat." The three people, the cat and the mouse, were not polite either. They all picked up the food and ate it frantically. Fortunately, each of Connor's dishes was very large, otherwise it would not be enough for them. By the time Connor finished feeding the cat and came out, half of the food was gone, so Connor was no longer polite and they finished up the food and rice that was enough for 10 adults. "Connor, your cooking skills are really good." "It's okay, mainly because I'm a fast learner," Connor said with a simple smile. "Come on, Tom, go see your kind," Li Qingyue said, grabbing the back of Tom's neck with his big belly. Tom followed Li Qingyue reluctantly. Seeing this, Jerry also followed curiously. They came to a room on the first floor. The room was well decorated and had a huge floor-to-ceiling window made of bulletproof glass. There were many cat climbing frames and kitten rooms inside. There are several holes under the floor-to-ceiling windows because there are many cat litter boxes on the balcony, and these holes are for the kittens to go to the toilet. There are many varieties of cats here, such as British Shorthair, Maine Coon, Ragdoll, Shorthair, and even Chinese Rural Cat. I don't know how they ended up here. Their food seems to be pretty good. They are all round and plump and look very cute. As soon as Li Qingyue and the two little ones came in, they attracted the attention of all the kittens. They all looked at Li Qingyue. Then a British Shorthair came to Li Qingyue's feet and rubbed it. Feeling the softness, Li Qingyue couldn't help but sit down, picked up the British Shorthair, and petted it. It purred spontaneously because of the comfort. Seeing this, the other kittens also came over to rub against Li Qingyue. Li Qingyue was overwhelmed and couldn't touch them at all. At this time, Tom took action. He picked up an orange cat and stroked its fur fiercely. It would be fine if it was Tom doing this, but Jerry was also petting the cats, which was a bit counterintuitive. After playing with them for nearly 2 hours, Li Qingyue left reluctantly. "Boss, you seem to like these cats very much." "Yes, I like petting cats. It relaxes me, and she likes cats too. But I don't like taking care of them. I just like petting them." Walter heard Li Qingyue's words but he pretended not to hear them and continued to ask, "Can I use them for experiments? Aren't you afraid of breaking Connor's heart? My experiment will only benefit them and not harm them. I plan to use the blood orchid to experiment on them. You can discuss it with Connor. I have no problem with it." "Okay, boss, as long as you have no problem." Just when Li Qingyue returned to the office, the bulletin board suddenly emitted a golden light, and a dark red parchment scroll appeared on it. Zombie Annihilation. This commission is a reward event. The host can find the person they desire in this world, and employees can earn a large number of points in this world. Lickers are worth 100 points each, zombie dogs are worth 50 points, tyrants are worth 1000 points, and ordinary zombies are worth 0.5 points. There is no upper limit. You have a total of 48 hours to earn points. Li Qingyue's eyes were fixed on the words on the parchment scroll. The host can find the person he wants in this world. System, is this true? It's a real host. The system wasn't fully activated back then, so it couldn't completely keep Sienna Guillory alive. However, this system still placed her in a small world, allowing her to live a second life. However, she no longer recognizes you, so the host needs to pursue her again. I understand, Li Qingyue said, staring at the parchment scroll. Li Qingyue then notified all employees, and they soon gathered in the office. Boss, what's wrong? Look at the bulletin board. Who among you doesn't want to go? Li Qingyue gestured to everyone to look at the bulletin board and said. Everyone walked to the bulletin board and saw the reward commission clearly, especially Constantine, whose eyes lit up. Boss, I want to go. I'm going too. Ditto. +1. So everyone decided to go. At this time, Tom and Jerry immediately grabbed Li Qingyue and looked at him pitifully with their mouths pouting. Okay, you guys go with me. I'm worried about leaving you here. After hearing that Li Qingyue was taking them, they excitedly hugged each other and danced hand in hand. Richard, since you're going with us, remember to tell Vanessa not to worry them, okay? Well, I'm going to tell my mom now. Wait for me. By the way, remember to bring all your bullets here. How many bullets do you have in total? Li Qingyue asked. About 15,000 rounds. I used them quite a lot before, so I went to Grandpa Jack and ordered a few thousand more. Okay, bring them all here. This time it will consume more ammunition. There are no bullets suitable for your pistol in that world, so you need to bring them separately. Li Qingyue reminded. Got it, boss. After a while, Richard came back, accompanied by several strong men. Each of them was holding 2 iron boxes in their hands, which contained Richard's bullets. Li Qingyue put them all into the storage compartment. The others also got ready. Then Li Qingyue closed the door of the office and turned over the sign that indicated suspension of business. Then everyone put their hands on Li Qingyue's shoulders. After Li Qingyue tore off the parchment scroll, everyone felt dizzy. When they woke up, they found that they appeared in a city, but the city seemed to have encountered something. The whole street was empty and the surrounding shops were looted. Everyone was walking on the street, and suddenly Li Qingyue saw something and led everyone in that direction.